Okay, welcome back. Here, the next thing I'm going to be doing is using RAV3 for my DNS management. All right, so the purpose of this is for me to convert that URL, right, into something that is more user-friendly, right? So yesterday in class, or maybe 2 days in class, 2 days ago in class, I went over how you can set up that. So I'm going to go to my Route 53. And I already have a URL set up, right? So if you don't have a URL, you probably want to buy a cheap URL that you're going to be using as a practice. You can get one as low as $3 in AWS. And how do you do that? So if you go to domain registration, if you click on create one, and you could register a domain, you can just look for something like shoedesigns.com and just do a search. Okay, that's not a spelling of design, but you get the idea. You can get one as low as 13 bucks. You can have that for yourself, right? So we're not going to go into that, but we're only going to be using this. I already have some domains, so I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And under my dashboard, I'm going to go to DNS management, right? Under hosted zone, I'm going to be using this server car wash, right? So I'm going to click on that. And currently, whenever you create your first hosted zone, there are two records that will be created for you automatically. I did explain that in class. So you have your server car wash, you have your NS and SOA, which is the the type, which is this is name server and start of authority. Now, if this is your first hosted zone that you're creating, right? And I'm going to show you exactly what. Let me just act as if I want to create one. I'm going to delete it later on. So this first time you're creating an hosted zone, you're going to click here. You're going to click where it says create hosted zones, and you give it a name. Whatever the name of your website that you create, that's the hosted zone that you're going to give here. So here's what you do. You go, let's say it's fine shoes. You want to make sure you put your .com or .net or whatever, or .io, right? .com. So just like that, let me just put .com. I don't have this domain, so it's not going to work. So fineshoes.com, optional, public, hosted zone, and create. So remember, you see, when I created the hosted zone automatically, I get these two records automatically created, NS and SOA. Now you can add more records if you want to, and that's what we're about to do. So I'm going to take you back over here. I'm going to delete this record, this hosted zone, because I'm not using this. I just want to show you how to create one. So I'm using this one right here. It's already created, and I already have those two records. I need to add more records. So the first record I'm going to add is www.servercarwash.com, and I'm going to choose the alias, and the alias in this point is going to be my application load balancer, and it's going to be US East, North Virginia, and my load balancer should appear here. Boom, just like that, right? And that is the first record. I'm going to add one more record. And this time around, I'm going to do www. So that in case somebody click www. Right, they can still get to my application, right? And I'll show you the purpose of that in a few. So let's say I create one without that. I'm just going to do that. Like I'm just going to just create one record, right? If I hit enter and just save this record, right, it's good. There's nothing wrong with it, right? And if I go to, oh, okay, let me delete it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna delete this record. I'm gonna delete that record. That's not what I wanted to try out. So if I do a create record, sorry, and I say, okay, it's just servarcarwash.com, and I did alias, I choose my endpoint, and I go into my region, US East, North Virginia, load balancer, simple weighted, and just click that, right? You see the record as here. So what's going to happen here? This is going to work, right? I can check and view status. It's still pending. So what it's doing is it's mapping this URL to my load balancer at this point, right? The CloudFront portion is done, right? We don't have to worry about how quickly our content will be delivered across all the edge locations around the world. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Right now, we are mapping our URL, which is our website name, right, to our load balancer. So here's what's going on here now. I'm gonna wait for this to show ready. Then, okay, it's now in sync. That means it's ready. So you can go on the browser and do this. So I can do something like this. I can do something like this. Let's see. Solve carwash.com. Oh, sorry. Wrong. Wash.com. All right. So carwash.com is not working, right? And why is it not carwash.com? Let me see. It's supposed to be working. Let's look at the records. It's showing sync. Servercarwash.com. Yeah, that's supposed to be working, except if I spell something wrong. Let's see. All right. So it says the site cannot be reached. And it's pretty much, I think, it's based on our record, the way we have our record set up, right? So, but what I want to do, let's see, car wash, yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be working here. But let's see why it's not working. ALB 529. Yeah, it should be working. But anyway, the reason why I'm thinking it's not working here is because when you have a record, right? And record says any traffic going through servercarwash.com should work. But what I need to do is create one more record. And I want to put a domain in front of that, right? Put an alias as well. Again, endpoint should be application. And my region is US East. Right? And my load balancer, right? That is my target, and create that. Now with that record, I should be able to have some kind of a connection. I don't need these IPs anymore. Let's go over here and copy this. All right, I'm still getting site cannot be reached. Let's see what's going on. Let's diagnose the problem. Let's see if I can find something here in the developer too. All right, so it took a little bit of time, but as you guys can see, it is working, right? So it's working and I'm getting service. I'm getting it served across multiple AZs. That is probably going to take a little bit of time. Let's take a look at the condition of the server. The servers, both of them look healthy. Let me see. Yep, they're both still healthy. And eventually, we should be able to see some traffic flow across multiple servers, right? So that is that. So that is working. And also, if I type in www dots, it's also working, right? So all that traffic is working. But if I take out the www dots, right, from this record, like this record right here, if I take this out, delete this record, I'm going to bring it back. Just say I delete that record. And I'd go over here and I put in www dots. I might not going to be able to see that anymore, right? So okay, it's still directing traffic. I think it's because I said redirected. So I think either way it's still working, right? So that is exactly what we're looking for, right? So this URL is pushing the request to one single server right now, right? Eventually it's gonna start serving the rest of the server. It's just doing its health check and all that stuff, right? So everything is good here. Now, how do we secure this? How do we secure this transaction? Sorry, how do we secure this traffic flow? Because every other website that you go to, they have this locks on it, right? How do we ensure that this website is secure? It's a solution within AWS that we have to use. It's called, yeah, even the load balancer right now is only set to, okay, it's doing what it's supposed to do now. So let's see if this will take suits as well. I'm trying to refresh. Okay, now it's working. So it's now sending traffic to both. As you guys can see those changes. Normally there's a stickiness going on here as well, but eventually it's moving traffic to both servers. So I'm gonna keep on. Yeah, there's time to leave some kind of a stickiness going on, right? But either way, you guys saw that it changed a few seconds ago, right? And this is the purpose of the health check, even behind the the health check behind the RAW53 is also doing something, right? So with all that being said, let's look at the time it took to load up. And let's see this. On the network, I'm going to hit refresh. And 61 milliseconds. So this is it's like cut down the time from 132 milliseconds to, half, pretty much cut down the time by half. So that's good. That is good. That is good. That's a good thing. All right. So now the next thing is we need to secure this site. How do we do that? Here we go. The next video is going to explain that. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you shortly.